Jesus Christ, that music just gave me a fucking heart attack. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Test, test, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a movie review of Monkey Man by Dev Patel. And I know there's other directors, and I actually should kind of try to find that now, to be honest. Should have done my research. But the movie is called Monkey Man, and it is by Dev Patel. If you remember who Dev Patel is, he got his big start with Hereditary, with the demon movie, and like his sister got her head taken off. I didn't see it, heard it was good. I saw a few scenes that he was in. He looked like a pretty good actor. And then after Eminem, and it was also okay. He survived to the end, so that's pretty good. And then he was also in a movie called The Green Knight, which is based on King Arthur and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. And I also wanted to see it out. It's at Thriller Action, rated R. Came out in 2024, and it's called Monkey Man. I think it is directed just by Dev Patel, or produced by Jordan Peele as well. Produced by Jordan Peele and then Samoth Sani. So, Monkey Man, what is it? It is an action movie first and foremost, kind of like Spider-Man 2 is an action game. And it's not bad, it's just kind of not what you think. By that, I'll get into that more, but if you've seen the trailers for the movie, they really make it seem like it's some badass action movie for 2 hours. They make it seem like it's another John Wick, which is badass for 2 hours straight. But, I mean, I guess it's more akin, like a better comparison would be John Wick 1, because not much really happens in John Wick 1. Like, it's a slow burn, it's very much like, it kind of comes and goes. Like, the first John Wick movie happens, and it's really just about, but it kind of tricked me, and that's why the title is It's Not What You Think. It really tricked me. If you've seen the trailers for the movie, it really makes it seem like it'll be badass for 2 hours straight. It really just seems like it'll be Dev Patel in a suit, beating some ass, kicking some ass for over 2 hours. And don't get me wrong, the ass-kickery moments are there, but that's it. Like, it's really like, there's more to it than that, and that's fine. But the trailers didn't give any of that off. The promotional material didn't get any of that off. It just seemed like it was another, like, comedy movie. Because the scene that they show in the trailers, if you've seen it, there's a scene of him trying to jump through a window, and it doesn't work. In every other action movies, the hero, like, runs through the window, it breaks, there's a big dramatic fall, all of that shit. And in the trailer, they show that scene where he gets a running start, he runs to the window, jumps, but since it's, I guess, realistic, quote-unquote, he bounces off of it and the glass doesn't break. That's funny. Like, that's just inherently funny, yeah. It made me laugh throughout the trailer. And I was excited for the movie, because then it showed more badass scenes, like one takes, and everything like that, so it got me hyped. I didn't pay for the movie. If you go to movies2watch.to, you should get every single movie for free. Just a little shout out to that. It's movies2watch.to. And if you type that into your search bar, make sure you have an ad blocker too, so you block all like the OnlyFans models and shit. Then you're gonna find every movie possible. So that's how I was able to watch this movie. But based off the trailers, it's like, it's fine, but it doesn't really get good until the end. It doesn't really get good until the second half of the movie. Not saying that this movie doesn't have fights, because the movie does have fights, you know. Dev Patel's kicking ass, you can see it in the trailers, but then, not that there's not enough, it's just like a weird movie. Like, it's a really weird movie, and I'll get into that more. And yeah, I mean, let me start swinging. Once I start swinging, I'll be talking. So, it has fights, and the fights are fine, but it's a really slow burn. Meaning that it's such a slow burn that I thought I clicked on the wrong movie. I honestly thought I clicked on the wrong movie. I didn't know what I was watching. Because the beginning is, I guess I'll start with the plot first. So, The comedic timing with the window was funny. I really wish I didn't see it in the trailers though, because it kind of ruined it. And it makes the movie seem like a wacky and fun action comedy for 2 hours. And the action is there, the comedy is there, but it just seems out of place with the story that they are trying to tell. It's a really slow burn, like I said. And it's not really a badass movie for 2 hours. Like, it just isn't. It's to get into the themes and the plot and the nitty gritty. It's more about, like, poverty. It's about how the poor are being looked down upon by the government, how the rich are always getting richer, how the poor are impoverished, no one notices them, and they're kind of being left to dust. The plot of the movie is that this religious group is trying to rallying people on the holiday called Diwali, and I'm assuming it has stuff to do with the whole Hindu religion, because they talk about, crap, what is it? The elephant god. I think it starts with an S. I learned about this, just completely forgot. But it talks about all of that, like karma, dharma, Buddhism, Hinduism, and the gods and everything like that. And as the religious group is trying to rally its people, they're trying to actually elect a new person. Spoiler, everything is corrupt. So the main plot of the movie and the main theme is corruption, if you couldn't tell. The main character is named Bobby, and they do a little fun gag with it, because he doesn't really have a name, I guess. Okay, yeah, fine, fuck you. That's funny, she faints. His main character is named Bobby because he saw some cleaning supplies named Bobby. And it's just kind of about a corrupt leader, corrupt official, corrupt person that kind of needs to be saved. And Dev Patel is going through trauma throughout the movie that we will get into later, but he has flashbacks dealing with trauma that he suffered from the corrupt leader burning down his village. All we know now is that his village got burnt down, people died, and he's like the only survivor type shit. Oh, thank you for agreeing with me, NPC. So Dev Patel's character isn't really a badass the entire movie, and dude, shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Where did I leave my bike?
What the fuck? And he's not really a badass the whole movie. Like, for the first, it's a 2-hour movie, and for like, he literally, it starts off with the monkey man in a boxing ring getting his ass whooped. Like, he's getting murked. And not that that's bad, you know, you could show your character losing, but from the trailers, I thought he would win every fight. And that's fine if you do, but make it good. And I guess they just kind of wasted an hour of build-up, when I don't think you needed to waste an hour of build-up. It shows Dev getting beat the fuck up in the boxing ring, like 3 times. He finds the person that actually sexually assaulted his mother, and that's, you know, pretty serious stuff. So he grabs a pistol, and, there's some side romance, but that's not really important. Grabs a pistol, goes to a bathroom, sees his mother's rapist, tries to shoot him in the face, but hesitates, which is kind of weird. And then continues to get his ass beat, some more, runs away, and granted, he's still a human, so it was really weird to watch the trailers from a badass that's, you know, beating up groups of men, and that does happen, but he's getting his ass beat for 60 minutes. That's not really the story you showed me in the trailers. You showed me a badass Dev Patel. But what I was watching for 60 minutes was a Dev Patel getting his ass beat. It was just kind of, just very fucking weird. And I didn't really know how to feel about it, because it just kind of kept happening. Like, after he shoots his dude in the bathroom, you know, he kind of like, the cops start running after him. There's a car chase scene, and that's fine, but the cops are still after him. And there's like mini fight scenes throughout, but it doesn't really get to be about the monkey man until he gets sniped in the chest and falls off a building into a river, and then he gets saved by the gift of actual God. Like, it looks like his mom is speaking to him from like heaven, and then some religious group finds him, and then it's the training montage. And like, it's fine, but it's just kind of like out of nowhere. It's not really about like Dev Patel at that, or like it's not really about the Monkey Man. Like it is, but for 60 minutes we're just watching corruption, poverty, sex, like actual sex. Like we watched the mom get whipped, get beat, get sexually assaulted, while Dev Patel's character is watching from the floorboards. That's all fine. That is great. I had to sit through that and watch it and feel the emotions the character felt. That is okay. That's not bad. But what is bad is when you don't show that story in the trailer. When all you show is a wacky comedic moment with badass fight scenes, that is what I am expecting from the movie. They had those fight scenes, but since it came 60 minutes into a 2-hour movie, halfway through the movie, it felt like I was robbed. It felt like I was robbed of a movie. I get you want to sell corruption. I get corruption exists. That's always going to be a thing. And I know it's bad, and I know that's the movie you're trying to tell, but you could do that in 30 minutes. You could do that in 10 minutes. You don't need 4 scenes of Dev Patel shooting a gun. They made it like... They had some good music, by the way. I'll get into that later, too. But, like, you don't need that many scenes of corruption. Like, we know... We get it. The world sucks. You don't need to explain that to us again. And it just really seemed like a weird, jarring, and like a tonal shift. Like a shift in tone is what that means. It was just more... It was about the poverty in the story he was trying to tell, and that's fine. But it wasn't like that in the trailers. And... I don't know. Like, he literally just shoots some people, runs away. Oh, thank you for watching, by the way. I'm just literally blabbing about this movie. So, I'm like halfway through. There's gonna be me swinging in the background, but that's kind of it for like the stuff in the background for you to watch and keep up with. Before I make it back to blabbing. So the trauma in Monkey Man. It's about, like, all that happens is Dev Patel washes some floors, and that's like, he gets a job in the corrupt city, works his way up, and then just kind of goes to shit. He starts fighting some guy in a bathroom, and then after that bathroom fight, the cops are still on him. So I kind of thought that's when he would be a badass, because that's the first fucking fight we see in the movie 45 minutes in. So my thought is, oh, Dev Patel's gonna whoop this dude's ass, you know? He's gonna whoop this nigga's ass. He's gonna fuck him up. Nah. Dev Patel gets fucked up. The bad guy puts him to the ground and says, I hope you fight harder like your mother fucked. And I'm like, dude, whoa. That comes out of left field. Like, I get you're a bad guy, but you remember the boy? Oh, you remember the mom you sexually assaulted or raped, yeah? And you say that's what comes out of your mouth, dude? Like, Jesus. And like, from context clues as well, it seems like the mom is, I'll get to that later, actually. After the bathroom fight, and after Dev Patel tries to run out a window, and horribly fails, and that scene was funny in the trailers, but as you're watching the movie, it's a very intense scene. He's confronting his mom's rapist, and that's a very intense, like, emotion that you just made the audience sit through for 45 minutes. So I'm expecting some justice or something. But no, he gets his ass beat, he tries to jump through a window, and that scene is still funny, but it breaks the tension so much that I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh, because it's just jarring to have comedy after those scenes. And the comedy is there, and they do sometimes a good job of using it, but for that scene it's just weird. Like, and then he beats up some more people, and throws a fire extinguisher at someone, runs away from the cops, there's a cool little car chase, and then there's more, like, fights. He gets oh god, I just forgot. During the car chase, you're expecting him to make it out alive, you know? He's the main character. He's supposed to be a badass. But he gets, rammed by the cops. Like, he's not really a badass for the entire movie. Like, in the beginning, he kinda sucks. he doesn't know what he's doing. And I guess it makes for a better journey, but you could tell that story in 30 minutes. You don't need to make me wait 60 minutes. And then, he literally gets hit by the cops and gets arrested in the middle of the car chase. So as I'm watching this movie, I'm like, oh, is he ever going to be a badass? Did I click on the wrong fucking movie? I was about to click off, but I realized I wasted 45 minutes of my time, so I might as well keep fucking watching. And you can watch the movie too for yourself. It's not really that bad. But it just really just kind of misleads you to begin with. And he gets arrested, and then he wakes up in the back of a cop car. Still isn't a badass yet, maybe I thought he would be, my mistake. But no. He fucking grabs the cop's gun, blasts some dude in the head with a Glock, like literally blows his brains out. And it just seems like he doesn't have any remorse. And that's fine. That's fine. But like, what is your plan? Your plan is nothing at this point. Your plan was to work for corrupt people, and I thought when you confronted your mom's rapist in the bathroom, then you would, maybe fucking kill him with the gun that you've been shooting with. But no. He gets arrested, shoots some more cops. That's all fine, cop killings, whatever. And then he runs into a building, and as he's running into the building, that's when they try to sprinkle more themes at you, in the middle of a chase scene, in the middle of a fight. As he's running into this building, he runs into, like, some sex ring. And I don't even mean to exaggerate, but they do a wide shot, or like a scene of him running in the hallway with the camera to the side of him, and it shows like cubbies that are down below, like in an opening in the bottom of the wall, that show people having sex. It shows the silhouettes of them fucking in doggy style, missionary, cowgirl. You hear the moans. It's heavily implied and also shown that they are having sex. So it's just, what are you doing? Why is this your directing choice? I know I'm probably not even supposed to think about it like this, but I can't help but think about it. Dev Patel, as the director, is shoving these, scenes. He's shoving this plot. He's shoving this, story into you. So you have to look at it, obviously. And I thought it was a joke, I really thought that Sex Palace thing, I thought it was just a joke. I'm like, oh, okay. I really thought it wouldn't happen. I thought, maybe let me overlook this. I rewinded it to be like, did I just fucking see people fuck in the middle of a fight scene? And after I did and realized that's the director's choice, I kept watching it, and it kept getting worse. Meaning that the guy that owned the sex ring came out with an axe and was like, how dare you bring the cops to my sex place? How dare you bring the cops to my sex dungeon? And I'm not trying to do a bad accent, it's just, yeah, he was just very aggressive. And it just jumps into that fight, not saying that fight is bad. He bites some dude's nose and bites his nose off, so you see his bone and cartilage and stuff, and that's pretty cool. And then, but it's just kind of meh. Dev Patel's still a wimp, and he's not really a badass, so it's kind of just him getting his ass beat again. It cuts, or shows, it goes to the couple that's in doggy style, and it shows them fucking, not not any nudity, but it's literally in Modern Family when Phil and Claire are having sex, it shows them in the doggy style position. So it's people fucking. And he lingers on that shot for 5 seconds. And it's a little 5 seconds too long, because why the fuck are you showing this in an action scene? If the movie's about action, show the action. If the movie is about sex or corruption or a corrupt government, then tell that story. You don't need the action in there. You could make it a drama, you can make it a thriller, but you don't need all of those weird moments sprinkled in. I really think he should just pick one and stay with one, not try to do everything. And maybe it's because it's his first directorial debut that he thought he needed to do everything. But it really just seems fucking weird. Like, it just kind of seems like a weird choice. And so after that, he fights the guy, they break down the wall, and as they're wrestling for the axe, the cops finally come and show up at the sex dungeon, and the cops shoot the guy in the face. Not Dev Patel, but they shoot the guy he's fighting in the face. So it gives Dev Patel another excuse to keep fucking running away. And run away he does. He starts running on top of, like, rooftops. The cops tell him to stop, because they have a goddamn sniper. And then they snipe him in the chest. So, you know, I'm expecting, oh, okay, he's dead. Or, like, he's gonna get saved, probably. And you're right, he does get saved. And that's kind of where we start the second half of the movie. But the second half of the movie is just such a jarring shift. Like, it's not anywhere close to the first part. The first part is a slow burn about corruption and how he's a worker for the corrupt people and how they don't care about him. And, you know, all of that fun stuff. And, like, that's fine. I'm not saying that's bad. But why sell the movie as, like, anything other than the fights if it's not about the fights? But I digress. That's cool. But I digress.
Where'd you hunters learn how to drive anyway?
Dang, got his ass with that one, Miles. Let me switch fucking characters. Dude. The fuck? The fuck? Oh my god. Okay, fine.
Missing Grandpa at Prospect Park.
I guess I shouldn't have swapped characters. Whatever. My fault.
Man,
My
go
fault.
check that out.
But whatever. So after he gets shot in the fucking chest, and survives, you see that I don't even know. The movie happens, he sees his mom from heaven, and then he wakes back up. And then this starts, like, the second half of the movie. He gets saved by some religious group, and you find out that they need money because the cops are trying to shut them down to, like, expand their territory. Dude, who the fuck is honking at me? Dude. Little shit. Okay. And so then they've realized that they need money, but this is before the only training montage in the movie. Like, you don't need more training montages, but this was actually the worst training montage I have ever seen in movie. And I've seen a lot of action movies. I'm an action guy. It was literally punching a punching bag. And that is it. There's another scene before that with, like, him at a campfire, and it's him watching some guy play the bongos, and I guess playing the bongos is telling a story. I didn't really understand it. Maybe if I'm, like, part of the Hindu culture, I will. But it just kind of seemed jarring for me, and just like, what the fuck am I watching, dude? Like, what is this shit? Oh, okay, my phone texted me. And then it goes into the training montage. There's an obligatory shirtless Dev Patel scene because, you know, he works for his body, gotta show it off. And then it's even weirder because they're a religious group. And Dev Patel takes off his shirt, and then the women are like, ew, and, like, starts sexualizing the fuck out of Dev Patel. And, like, I don't know, man. It's sex sells, I get it, but, like, aren't you in a religious thingy? Shouldn't you not be flexing your body or, like, sexualizing yourself to these religious people? Isn't that, like, heresy? I guess, like, heresy, like, I think that's, I don't know what the word is. I think it's heresy. But, like, I just kind of thought that was also weird. But the training montage keeps going, and they incorporate the bongos that you saw from the campfire scene, but with the music, and what the whole point of it is to match tempo. He's matching the bongos tempo, matching the tempo of the bongos with his punches. And so it's kind of like a bell. He gets tired one time, and the old man goes like, bow, bow, and he's like, oh, fine, I'll fight again. But, like, the montage is actually just him punching a fucking punching bag for 3 goddamn minutes. I can't stress this enough. It's him punching a punching bag and throwing 2 kicks, I believe, the entire time. And it ends with him breaking the punching bag, and yeah, that's cool, because he broke a fucking punching bag, you know? Like, that's pretty tough. Captain America did that, but whatever. But like, that's actually that's the training montage. For 60 minutes, we see Dev Patel get his ass beat in 3 boxing fights, get his ass whooped by the cops, by everyone, and the thing that's supposed to build him up is punching. So you're telling me you just didn't punch before? That's what stopped you? You just never used a punching bag. I get like, I don't know, not like didn't use a punching bag, but all you did to train, all you did to get better, all you did to become a badass was just punch a punching bag for a few minutes. Not even a few days, because it doesn't even like show the sun going up or down. He gets rescued, they stitch him up and everything like that, like close his wounds, like cauterize him. That's a pretty gruesome scene, by the way. But then it's him punching something for 3 minutes. Okay, now he's a badass. And that's actually it. He's just a badass. And it's just kind of weird. Because we saw you get your ass beat for 60 minutes. You punch a punching bag for 3 minutes. And now apparently you're just amazing. You're just a god. That works. Like, that's just how that works now? You're saying I can go punch a punching bag for 3 minutes, get tired, keep anything that you're a badass. Because all I saw was you get fucking whooped. That's it. That's all you showed us. And whatever. So he goes back to the boxing ring after he becomes a badass somehow. It's really weird too, because he breaks the sand, and you can tell where it's going. After he starts punching the punching bag for a minute and a half, you're like, oh, he's gonna break it. That's the big character moment. He's gonna break the punching bag. It's gonna break. There's gonna be sand, and it's gonna be like, whoa, look at this badass Dev Patel. He broke a punching bag. And you're exactly fucking right, because that's exactly what happens. It's like, oh my god, Dev, you're ready. You broke a punching bag. You can do it now. You can save us. And they're like, Monkey Man, Monkey Man, Monkey Man. And they start chanting. It's just kind of fucking weird. But the movie keeps going. But the movie's almost over. There's only 30 minutes left. And I guess that's not how you start, but how you end. But at this point, it doesn't even feel like the same fucking movie. It feels like 3 movies in one. Because he gets his ass beat. It's the character development phase. It's watching his mom get, fucking sexually assaulted. And then it's him being a badass? Like, that's all fine and dandy. But you can't have those 3 dramatic shifts all in one movie. That's just scattered. That's not really a consistent or focused plot. And it's weird, because after he gets the people to chant his name, it's literally the end of the movie. The fight you saw in the trailers with the kitchen fight, it's dope, it's cool. I rewinded it a few times, because I watched it on like that little movie app, movies2watch.to. But the movie was only had 30 minutes left, so it had to wrap that shit up, you know? And after that, it's just fight after fight after fight. That's fine. I'm fine with the fights. The fights are good. The fights are gruesome. The fights are great. But it's not really about the fights at that point. You can't show me fights you can't show me a story and then expect me to still be interested in the fights. No. I care about the story now, excuse me. And whatever, man. I don't know. And like, Dev just kind of throws hands at that point. Like at hour 15, I went back to my notes. Dev just kind of throws hands. Like, he's not a bad director. The choreography for the fights are phenomenal. They're nice and clean. They're stylistic. They really show how much better he's gotten. But all he did to train was just punch a punching bag for 3 minutes. So it kind of takes you out of the fight scene. Like, he was getting his ass beat before, but now he's just whooping ass immediately. Doesn't really seem fair. Doesn't really seem like it makes sense. You know? Like, but it's good fights. He throws hands. Dev goes crazy. After the kitchen fight scene, he grabs some knives. And, like, the kitchen fight is actually all in one take. And that's actually really fucking cool. Like, I'm a sucker for one takes. But Dev throws hands. Dev goes crazy. After the kitchen fight scene, he slices some guy's, like, knee, and burns some guy with scalding hot water. And then there's a fight in the elevator, and these fights are gruesome. He ends up grabbing a knife, and he puts it in some dude's eye, but with his teeth. So he grabs the knife with his teeth, and it's really cool. Because it's a close-up shot of his face, and you could see the guy slowly kind of dying. And it's kind of fucked. Like, you could see the moment when his brain stops working and he dies. Because he plunges this knife with his teeth into his throat and twists it. So it's very gory. It's very, visceral, I think is the right word. And it's very, like, oh, like, I looked away. I had to look away for at least, like, I didn't want to not look away, but I looked away a little bit. But, like, I still committed. And it was very gross. And, oh, that's cool. And then after that whole scene, and after the elevator, it's the final fight. There's one more fight, because he grabs bottle rockets and grabs knives, and it's really fucking cool. Because we're watching a badass, like how we should have been watching for the whole movie. And in that fight, he trips some guy, lights the bottle rockets, fires it at someone, trips him, and then launches another bottle rocket in the dude's eye. He literally holds it next to his face, and it blows up into the dude's eye. So it leaves like a crater in his face. It's like a flashbang went off, but in your face. So you're going to fucking die. It was really cool. And the fights after that, too, are really fucking good. Like, the fights aren't bad, but it just feels like a completely different fucking movie at that point. Like, I'm invested in the fights, and they're great, and I wish there were more of them. But it seems like Dev kind of knew what he was doing. He knew he wanted to tell a story about corruption, and could lure the audience in with the fights in the trailer, and that's what he did. And the fights, I guess, are worth it. The payoff is nice, but the execution is really poorly done. The execution is very poorly done. Back to the fights though. So after the bottle rocket scene happens and after, everything like that goes away, the villain runs into an elevator and it does another shot of like people surrounding him. And it's really cool because it's a shot of Dev being surrounded by like 20 fucking people. Right? It's like a 1v20. And the camera lingers, the music gets all so quiet and intense. Like you have the, and then it gets quiet. And it's eerie. And I'm sitting there hyped as fuck. I'm waiting to see this man 1v20 everybody. But that doesn't happen. Instead, he gets bailed out by some people that I don't even know who they are. I think it's the people that saved him and like they just knew how to fight, because there's a mini scene in the boxing training montage where he teaches this one buff ass girl, like, bro, she looks like the fucking Hulk, I swear to God. Like, she's buff as hell, and she takes a swing at the punching bag, and it's like a pretty hard swing. And I think it shows her again when they save Dev's ass in the 1v20 fight, but like, don't save him. Don't save him. Director Dev Patel, why would you have that badass build-up of that 1v20, that badass hour and 30 fucking build-up, just for the fight to be cut off? And they don't cut off the fight still happens, but, you know, it's dispersed across like 20 fucking people. I can't follow that many people, there's too much shit going on. And the choreography is very limited at that point too. And the fight keeps going. Dev is still a badass. There's a few more badass stuff that happens. Like, they fight on top of a bar with, a nice yellow background and a nice yellow back silhouette. So it looks like two shadows fighting. And he actually 1v2s, and it's a very realistic 1v2. Like, he uses the environment surrounding him with, like, all the glass bottles and chairs, and pots and pans, like in the kitchen fight. But it's actually a really good 1v2. Like, it shows him switching off between two people. And my favorite thing that John Wick doesn't really do is, the two people actually fight him at the same time. Usually in John Wick, the two people fight him at the same time, but if you look closely, they're not actually hitting the person. They just do a little, like, fluff with their hands. They rotate their hands in, like, a spinny motion that indicates they're gonna fight, but it's not. They're just doing, like, a move to waste time and waste space, so the actor fighting the 1v2 can fight the other person in time. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you watch John Wick 4 and, like, watch all the fight scenes, you actually start to notice a lot of these, enemies that just kind of stand around. They don't really do much, because your focus shouldn't be on them, but the action. But once you take your mind away from the action, you start to notice all these flaws. And the fight scenes in Monkey Man were actually really good. I didn't notice any flaws. Like, they were just good. Like, there's some shots of him, like, being a spiffy guy in a suit, and he blocks some of the cleanest punches and kicks I've ever seen. And he does it in such a way that's so goddamn badass. Like, the scene of, it reminds me of the 007 scene with Daniel Craig, as he jumps off the train into the other train car, and just immediately fixes his suit. That's just badass. Like, that's just badass as fuck. And he just looks so spiffy as he does it.
Felicia and I have our differences.
Peter,
she's okay.
Shut the fuck up, okay? I'm venting over here. I'm yapping.
But I hope she's okay.
Nigga, shut up. God. But yeah, okay, back to the bar fight, I'm so sorry. It's a really good 1v2, and at the end of it, he ends up, like, I think slicing some guy's throat open, and then he RKOs someone off of a bar. And you know the edge of a bar? He RKOs someone off of the edge of the bar, meaning he jumps off of the bar and the ledge and cracks the dude's spine in half. They don't linger on that shot for too long, which I'm kind of annoyed about, because it's fucking gruesome. And, like, it kills him by jumping off of a bar, grabbing the guy's back, launching his back down, and it, like, cracks over the edge of the bar. Like, grab, like, a fucking chip and just bend it in half. Just think of that. Just think of that. And that's sick. That's actually sick. To go from, like, a 1v2, and the end is him jumping off, RKOing someone, and cracking the dude's spine, like Bane broke Batman's back? That's awesome. That's actually so fucking cool. And I'm giddy right now, and I really wish there were more scenes like that. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, he jumps off the top ropes, and Batman Bane breaks the guy's back. Like, it's really fucking cool. Stabs a guy in his throat, uses his teeth to finish it, putting it in the guy's throat, and it was kind of cool. Like, those moments are cool. But there's only 3 fight scenes. If you were following along, it's the kitchen fight, the fight with the elevator, the fight in the kitchen, or the fight after that with the bottle rockets, but there's not much choreography there, and then the fight where, the 1v20 gets interrupted, and, like, the Bane backbreak. Besides that, there's, like, the fights in the beginning at the boxing ring where he gets his ass beat. Like, actually gets his ass beat. Like, he loses 3 fights in a row. And I guess the ones, like, in the middle that show, like, the guy with the axe and shit, but, like, they're not good. Those fights are not good. I'll tell you right now, they're not good. Even the fight against, like, the big giant guy that's, like, a brute that they always also have in every single fucking action movie. Once you notice this stuff, you start to pick up on everything. It's like the dumb brute character that they use that's, like, just tall and lengthy and shit. that but can throw you around. Like, once Dev beats him, it's not really a good fight. The choreography's ass. It's very meh. And then it goes on to the final fight with the villain. And if you remember, I'll tell you now, the final fight with the villain, Dev Patel used to live in the jungle, and live in the jungle and a village with his people. His whole thing that his mom taught him was God is real, nature comes from God, respect God, respect the people that, you know, you like, respect the nutrients, respect the soil, everything comes back to the earth type beat. Like, you live, like, you're part of the earth, you die and you return back to the earth. So, like, always remember that, like, your purpose is, there's a greater purpose than you, or like God's the creator or some shit like that, I don't know. But then the corrupt religious group comes because they want to expand the territory, and they start gunning down the fucking people. Like, no hezzy. They don't even talk to them. They pull out the AKs and mow them down. And we've already seen these in like flashbacks of Dev Patel's character, but now we get the whole journey. And like, it's some spiritual nonsense, meaning like he takes some drug and Dev Patel rips open his chest and like actually rips open his chest, and the camera goes inside of him to go inside his mind, obviously, but like, you know, that's just kind of weird. That's just kind of weird. That's just kind of weird. I get you need to like awaken yourself, like go through trauma, but bruh, that's too, kind of weird. But yeah, Dev Patel's character, the village gets murdered, and then he goes back to his mom. His mom tells him to hide and shit like that, so he hides up in the floorboards in like the attic. But then the villain comes along, and the villain pins the mom against the wall. And I'm only telling you this because I had to watch it too. So watch the movie for yourself. But I had to sit through this, so you do too. The main villain pins the mom against the wall. You know what happens. You already know what's going to happen because it's implied and shown like in small scenes, like a small second or two, of the mom's like body on the floor and like the moan and screaming and like stuff like that. So as the main villain's choking out the mom, you already know where it's going. And I know it's a movie and I shouldn't read too much into it, but if you have a knife behind your back and you have one shot to stab the guy to get away before he overpowers you, if he's putting you in a chokehold, right, and you have a knife and you're pinned up against the wall and the knife is behind your back, why the fuck would you pull out the knife and slash his face? Why would you slash his face? My first thought is, I have a knife. He's taller than me. I can see his chin. Let me shove the knife up his chin. So it goes through his tongue, goes through the roof of his mouth, and stabs him into the brain. It might not kill him, but then he'll be forced to take out the goddamn knife inside of him. Why the fuck do you slash his cheek? Why do you slash his cheek? There's no need. You have one opportunity to get away. One opportunity to use that knife before he overpowers you. And you use it to stab and slash his goddamn cheek? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, at all. And it's just really weird. Because, like, why would you do that? Why would you waste your golden opportunity for that? That just doesn't really make much sense. It just doesn't. And it's like, but whatever, I digress. So she stabs him in the cheek. Not even a stab, she literally just cuts his cheek. Like a little, like, gah, get off me, and slashes his cheek. I don't know what the fuck she thought that would do, or what that would help with, or what that would actually fucking accomplish, but like, it didn't accomplish shit. So we all know where this is headed, but I have to tell you because I saw it too, and it's so gruesome. The mom stabs the guy in the cheek, and then as Dev Patel is watching this all from the floorboards up above through a crack in the floor, he sees the mom get thrown on the ground. The bad guy says, I hope your ass is nice and ready, or like, I hope your ass is ready, or something up. So the mom says, you can shove those papers up your ass, and then cuts him with a knife. You know, you don't say that to a bad guy, because then that's just gonna give the bad guy an idea. And as I'm saying this, it's very, like, oh god. So the bad guy shoves the mom onto the ground, lifts up her clothes, strips her naked, starts choking her out, starts beating her up, like, actually beating her up. Like, he grabs the belt and starts to whip her by, like, actually whipping her with the belt. And remember, Dev is watching all of this. So he's watching his mom get whipped by a belt, get choked out, and then the main guy starts to unbuckle his pants, and then she starts to get sexually assaulted and starts to get raped. And then, by context clues given by the main villain, by saying, oh, you said I'm gonna shove these papers up where? It is then implied that she is sodomized, that she is anally raped as well. And it is implied because she makes another face, and it's like the anguish face as, you know, someone is screaming, and the blood-curdling sound of someone being raped, because they really show all of it. And remember, Dev is watching all of this from upstairs, so he's watching his mom get whipped, sexually assaulted, and then sodomized, right? And if that's not enough, if that's not enough for you, because I already feel uncomfortable talking about it again, the main villain is done. The mom is lying there, helpless, defenseless. You know, she just got raped. So of course I'd be lying there too. Pretty traumatized. But after, the main villain pours gasoline on her and says something, but lights her on fire. He actually pours gasoline on her and lights her on fire. But also, like, the mom is still alive. Her body is motionless because she got raped, obviously. But he poured gasoline on her, lights a match, smokes a puff, like he just had the best sex of his life, and sets her on fire. But before he flicks the match on her body, he looks up at Dev and does like a little wink. So he knows that the sun is up there, and did that. No, that's so mean. And then as he lights her on fire, it cuts to the house burning on fire, and Dev actually tries to save her, but his hands get like 4-degree burns and is permanently scarred, because he keeps trying to, like, Mama! Mama! Get up, Mama! And it's, you know, it's sad. Because it's a kid, and you see his hands getting burned, but he doesn't care. He just wants to save his mom. That's sad. That's sad. And I don't really know where to segue from here. But it's just like a plot. If you could tell, it's kind of a story movie. It's not really about the fights. The fights tell the story and help move the story along, yeah. But from what I just told you, that's fucking insane. Like, the plot is about the government being rich, and I get they're all assholes and shit. And like how they can afford constant sex and constant sugs and like sin and the devil. And like poor people are being cast aside. But, dude, you just made me sit through a rape scene. And I get it. It's character development, and I get it. But what the fuck? And that's, I guess, like a good segue into the final fight, because it's with the main villain. But the main villain just kind of dies. It's like he beats him up, and he just beats him up. He beats him to death. Not even like Mark Grayson vs. Angstrom Levy beating him to death. He just kind of beats him up, like he smashed his head on the floor, and like makes his soul bleed. That's it. For someone that raped your mom, Why do you let the villain off with the easiest punishment? Why do you blow a bottle rocket in some guy's face that you don't... You used your teeth to put a knife to some guy's throat. Slowly. So, I don't know, man. You'd break all of his bones in his body. That's just me. That's just me. Or maybe you stomp his face in. Curb stomp him a little, you know? Beat the fuck out of him, you know? Maybe grab a knife, cut his Achilles tendon, and keep slicing up his calf and slicing up his leg. I don't know. Be like, I'm gonna make you suffer like how you made my mom suffer. And fucking torture him, dude. I don't know. Do something like that. But like, he just didn't. He just kind of beat him up. He beat him senseless, and then he died. Why do you... Like, bro, you just literally fucking Batman. You Bane broke someone's back over a goddamn counter. But for the woman, for the guy that raped your mom, you're just gonna punch him a few times? You're gonna punch him harder than you punched people out of... You're just gonna punch him? That's it? Bro, fucking face stomp him. Grab his face, grab your foot, and stomp his face in. That is what you should do in that moment. Especially if he's on the ground. I don't know, put a knife into his stomach and twist up and yank out his guts. Do something like that. And if you're hearing this, I promise, I'm not gruesome. I'm not a serial killer, I promise. FBI, don't come at me. But like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I just saw 3 fight scenes of you eviscerating people. But when you actually find the person that raped your mom, you're telling me you're gonna make him suffer the least amount of pain than you inflicted on the other people? That doesn't make much sense. You know? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe if my mom got raped, and I saw the rapist, and if I knew who the rapist was, and I had a chance to beat him up, and I was already winning, I would... You know, like the people in Saw get off worse than him. Yeah, he gets off easier than the people in Saw. There's a trap in Saw 3 where it breaks every guy's bone in his body, and it's terrifying. That guy got a worse death, and he's not even a fucking rapist. That's just a guy that Jigsaw wanted to fucking torture. But in Monkey Man, you confront the guy that raped your mom, and you're just gonna punch him hard? You're just gonna say, "Gah! I'm gonna punch you harder! Gah! Ah!" No, dude! No! No! Fuck no! No! Fuck no! 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 That's when you grab a shard of glass, and you fucking cut him! You cut him! You make him suffer! And like, I guess it would have been a better payoff if I did see him suffer, but he didn't. So it's just really weird to watch all these fight scenes where you're torturing these random ass goons, but then you finally meet the guy that's responsible, and you let him off with the easiest death possible? That's just... I don't know. Doesn't sit right with me. And then, after that, it's the... You finally see like the old ass guy that's like a religious dude. He's like a monk, technically. And he's like, violence is not the way. Violence is not the answer. And he gets close to him. And my whole thought is, why the fuck are you letting this old fuck get close to you, man? Kill him. Kill him. Kill him now. Kill him now. But he gets a foot away from Dev Patel's character, and you all know how this is going. But the old guy pulls a fast one on Dev Patel, because Dev Patel can't survive in the end. Ha ha ha. And he stabs him in like the fucking chest. Like he stabs him in the chest with like some I don't know, some like needle, I guess, like 2 inches long. And Dev is like, you got me. I never saw that coming. And then he turns it on him and kills him. But like, you could have done that before. You know, didn't need to wait for him to say his little spiel. It's kind of stupid. But whatever. Themes. See, I don't really know how to segue this. Themes of the movie. The underlying theme is that nature and God is all around us. And while the bad stuff is happening, like corruption, remember to have hope and that God worships you and all and everybody. This isn't me trying to spout my beliefs or anything like that. I actually wrote that down in my notes too. But that's genuinely the movie. It ends with Dev Patel lying there as they're celebrating like the New Year, like the Diwali, as I said before. And then it just ends with some guy whispering, like, remember, God loves you all. God is a friend. God is within us. God is nature. God is hope. And then it ends. And then the movie ends. And I'm like, okay, weird. Oh, there you go, I wrote it down. It ends with, it just says, God, I worship you. And then fade to black. And it's like it's a montage of nature. And it's a montage with like aesthetically nature pleasing sounds. So it literally ends with 3 fight scenes back to back to back, killing his mom's rapist, Dev dies, and it ends with God, I worship you. And it's a nature montage. And I literally mean it shows images of just nature. Like it shows the grass, it shows streams, it shows plants, it shows vegetation. And it doesn't even show like it shows animals too. But like, what the fuck is this? Is it supposed to be Dev going to heaven and like be uniting with his mom? If that's the case, cool. But I think don't fucking kill him, at least in a stupid ass way like that. But like, that's also a weird way for the movie to end. What the fuck? What did I just watch then? Like, you're sitting there, like, I just spent 2 hours of my time watching this movie that wasn't really that good. It's just weird. It's all over the place. It starts off with corruption, and it starts off with Dev being a nobody, and getting his name from cleaning supplies, and like working his way up the corporate ladder for like 30 minutes. He gets a gun, becomes vengeful, bathroom fight, shoots some cops, gets arrested, punches a punching bag for 3 minutes, somehow becomes a fucking monkey man, which is like a god, essentially, right? And then is just a badass. And it doesn't really make much sense. The movie doesn't really... It has a story, but it's not a good one. I guess. It's really not a good story. So it's really just kind of not what you think. If you go into this movie expecting a comedy, there are comedic moments, but it's not a comedy. If you go into it expecting an action movie, it's not an action movie, because the action starts an hour and 15, an hour 30 into a 2-hour movie. That's not an action movie. Closing notes. Dev is a good director, and the choreography was phenomenal, and like towards the end and everything, but it doesn't really get good until an hour 10, whenever the fighting, plot, and development is finally over. Like, and so Dev, when he throws hands, Dev just throws hands, you know? There's some good one-takes, there's some good director choices in there, there's some good backdrops, like for the choreography, but that doesn't come until later. The first major fight we get is 30 minutes in, he gets trounced, and then it kind of starts the second half of the movie. They could cut the whole childhood trauma into 30 seconds, into 30 minutes. Like, you could show the whole village thing in the beginning, and have that be enough for development, you know? Like, show the scene of him walking with his mom in the beginning, and then it ends after like a 5-minute intro with the mom being raped. And then it starts with Dev as an older person looking at his hands and doing all of that shit. I think that would be better, because then it will just get straight into the actual movie itself and not like jump around. The build-up and world building about poverty and God and how like the rich are rich, it's fine, but like it's an action movie. I was sold on it being an action movie. So where the fuck is the action? I didn't come to be preached at. I didn't come to learn about God. I already know about God. So I'm turning on my fan. I already, know about God. Like, I'm sure everyone does. So it's just kind of a weird choice to include all of that when it's an action movie first. I can't really rate it any higher than good because the end. It's only good for the ending. It's only good for the ending. And it's only good because the fight
Lisa and
scenes.
I have our differences. I hope she...
I'm gonna fucking shut Peter up. There we go. Like, it's actually only good for the ending. And I know it's not how you start, but how you end and how you finish. And this quote is true for this movie, but since the start was so genuinely bad, I can't rate it higher than a 6. And I can't really enjoy it to the fullest, or enjoy it as I want to, because of the beginning. Because the movie took so long to get good, it just isn't good. This movie could actually be a 30-minute short film, and it is. The movie actually is a 30-minute short film. It just drags for 2 hours. It doesn't start until an hour and a half in, until a 2-hour movie. And I guess the wait and build-up makes Dev being a badass that much better, but not for me. Not for me. After an hour, I want to see you whoop ass. I want to see you whoop ass kind of in the beginning. I don't really want to watch you get your ass beat. I don't really want to watch that. And it's not even coming off of like John Wick 4, coming off of better action movies, which they do reference in this movie. Like, they reference the John Wick pistol, which I thought is kind of weird. It just feels like I'm missing something, I guess. I'm assuming there's going to be a sequel, and I'm assuming it'll be better than the first one, but I think they could have done a better job handling the story. They could have done a better job handling the development, handling the themes, and just kind of not shoehorning it in there. Like, if they actually went about it in a better way, I think it would be a lot better.
Okay.
But they didn't do that, and the movie was just kind of, I don't know, just not about that. It was not about the fighting. And I guess all in all, the movie was solid. Like I said, it's a 6 out of 10. It's got good action, but only at the end. The beginning of the movie is all plot and build-up, and that's fine. But the fights we get before the final ones, like the kitchen fight and stuff, they're just not good. And we kind of see a man spiral out of control, and then becomes a badass after surviving a sniper shot to the chest. Like, it sounds badass, it sounds dope as fuck, yeah, but if you watch the movie, if you'll see what I mean and why it's only a 6. It probably should be a lot lower, but it's only a 6 because of how good the ending and it's only a 6 because of how good the final action scenes are. It's not really good after that. It's not really good outside of that. It's very mid. It doesn't really know what it's trying to do. It doesn't know what it's trying to accomplish. It's trying to accomplish way too much. And it's only really a 6. Like, this movie is a movie. Like, it's definitely one of the movies of all time. But maybe don't take an hour and 6 minutes out of a 2-hour movie with 5 to 10 of them being credits when you could do the whole movie in 30 minutes. Like, it's just all plot and build up. And then halfway through, it just becomes a god tier action movie. Like, out of nowhere. It becomes boring as fuck to just Dev being a fucking badass. Out of nowhere. And again, I keep saying this, not how you begin, but how you end. But the beginning of the movie feels so different. It just kind of feels like a waste. Like, why the fuck did I sit here for an hour waiting for it to get good? And when it gets good, it's good. But, however, it's just jarring at that point. Because I just sat with an hour of plot. I sat with an hour of build-up. But the payoff isn't worth it. Because the build-up is very mid. The build-up is very boring. The build-up is so lackluster. It's just nothing really fucking happens. Like, nothing happens until he becomes a badass. And that's fine, but it's not good. It's just not really good. Like, he fights the guy with the axe, and like, I think the movie's trying to tell us that the consumer is good, or like evil and corruption and stuff like that, is burning down villages. So like, it's a movie, and like, corruption is there, and like, evil is there, but like, at least you have hope and belief in God. Like, I don't know, that's kind of what it seems like it's trying to tell you. Like, yeah, the world sucks. Yeah, you can't really do anything to change the world, because if you do, you're just gonna die like Dev Patel character did. And it ends with, God, I worship you. So, you tell me what it's trying to say. It seems pretty straightforward, I guess. Or it seems pretty jumbled. I don't know why you'd end with a nature montage after watching men just get their ass beat. It's very fucking weird. Like, have belief in the world, and like the world sucks, but like, have belief and hope that it'll get better, I guess. That's kind of all the movie says at the end. It doesn't really do much else. And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of why I think Monkey Man by Dev Patel is just not what you think. It's not really an action movie. It's not really a comedy. It's, I guess, a drama because of the mom and like getting raped and stuff. But it's very, I don't know, just misleading. It's very misleading at that point. I felt like I was watching another movie, and I just can't really stand by that. So I only really can give it a 6 out of 10. 6 only because of the action scenes too at the end. If it wasn't for the amazing action at the end, I'd give it like a 3. I just would. And no hate to Dev. Dev's a good director. Like, he's good. Excuse me. Oh, fuck me, I'm yawning. It's like 120 for me right now. Like 130. Like, he had good action scenes, but it's fuck me, dude. It's so goddamn boring. Just such a waste of my time at that point. But yeah, let me know if you've seen the movie Monkey Man with Dev Patel, produced by Jordan Peele. Let me know if you've seen it down below, in the comment section, all that fun stuff. Subscribe, I guess, if you want more movie reviews. Let me know if you want some. It's kind of my first one. I had thoughts about the movie, and I just kind of wanted to get them out. Because I don't know if many people saw it. So here I am, talking about it. Let me know if the background game is good, because I'm playing Spider-Man 2, because I thought it was the game I could just be the most chill and like relaxed in, while also talking about the movie. So if it worked, let me know. If it didn't, let me know. I could try another game, but I don't really know what to put. But yeah, Monkey Man, have you seen it? What do you think of it? For me, it's a 6 out of 10. Not really anything special, not really anything good or memorable, besides the fight scenes that were okay. Like, they were good, but like they weren't really that good to warrant an hour of build-up. But yeah, that's fine, I guess. But yeah, have a great day, guys. Stay safe. Let me know what you think. Bye!